Women only leave men when they are not being taken care of, right?
I've been ghosted once in my life, and I asked, like, hey, why did you ghost me?
I want y'all to know that dating sucks.
I honestly cannot with men. Here I am.
The struggles of modern dating continues as more women struggle to find a date.
Social media has destroyed dating.
I've cheated plenty of times in my life, by the way, but I'm a reformed cheater. I would never do it again.
If you're ever having a hard day, just remember, I've been cheated on.
Unrealistic expectations is what's keeping them single. Wake up to the real world. Kindly subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask of you. Thank you.
I tried to be supportive for Lily, I really did, but I wanted to kill myself.
Women only leave men when they are not being taken care of, right? So when women aren't being emotionally taken care of, like women don't have affairs usually because they're like horny, right? Because guys will have sex anytime. They have affairs because their emotional needs are not being met. The more that you can like take care of your wife and try to make her happy, do things that's nice for her, she won't go anywhere, right? And then the more that you do that, the more she's going to want to do the same for you. People always wear like, you're not doing this, or I'm not getting enough of this. But the more you give to that, your partner, the more they want to give to you. I've been married for almost 16 years now to my second husband, and my last husband, like he's my world, you know, like I love him so much and I would never want to get divorced again. And some people are just narcissistic psychos, so they're going to cheat on you anyways. Like that was my first husband, right? So, you know what I mean?
Absolute, utter shit. In practice, most women only care about improving their station. If a much better option appears, they're gone. That's shit. I did all that, and it isn't enough. 24 years I never cheated, but she did. Bullshit. You make us a bitch boy, then you leave us 'cause we're a bitch boy. Lies. I see plenty of women in shitty relationships, and they stay till they have someone new to jump to. This woman looks quite ancient. She's been asleep for so long thinking things were the same. To be blunt, this woman is incorrect. Women leave men for any types of reasons, and when they can't find a reason, they create it. We have seen plenty of kings fallen because of marriages. We have seen men giving their woman the world, and she still cheated and walked away with 80% of everything. Women leave when something better comes along, and that is the absolute truth.
If you catch yourself complaining about the city you live in because you swear up and down that the city you live in has no good guys left, well, here's the sign from the universe. You have two options. Either number one, move, or number two, create an abundant mindset when it comes to the city you live in and start to change your mind about how there are good guys out there and that this city does have a lot to offer. You just haven't found them yet. And maybe change your routine and you will find your perfect guy.
Question I sometimes get asked, why are you single? Very easy to answer. Because in today's society, I don't fit in. Why, you ask? Because I have standards.
Okay, this is for you if you feel like there are no good guys left out in the world. I promise you, there are. There are good men, there are kind men, there are compassionate men. Just don't settle. Don't settle, don't entertain these clowns who, you know, just want to hang out with you and don't actually want to take you on dates. Don't even entertain them. Wait for the right one, the one who loves you and is kind to you and who values you. Do not even entertain the ones who don't do that.
Sorry, but not sorry. The right one these women are waiting for aren't coming. The reason why these women are in this predicament in the first place is because they're too picky about the guy that they date. There are great men in the world, but in the eyes of modern women, these men become invisible. These women wouldn't struggle so much to find love if that's really what they wanted. These women keep saying they have standards when it comes to dating, as do men. But there's a big difference when it comes to having standards or being delusional. And most of these modern women will remain single because of their delusion.
Please stop telling women in their late 20s, early 30s that time's a ticking, you better get on it. If you're single, wow, you might be if you're 30. Listen, first of all, not every woman on planet has the agenda of getting married to a douchebag just to have children, okay? What we are doing now as a society is forcing it and pretty much like putting so much pressure on women my age to just find someone and get children going because you're just getting older.
Sometimes the truth can be hard to swallow. And the truth of the matter is, we're not getting any younger. And I wouldn't call it pressuring women. It's just that at a certain age, dating becomes harder for a woman that's trying to get married. But the only thing that can make these women see that is time. They will quickly regret their decision once they're 50 and still searching for a man.
Men are giving up on dating. And one of the reasons why is because of women's expectations. One of the main reasons why women have such unrealistic expectations is because of social media, and let me tell you why. So women are often fueled by what they see on social media. It seems like everywhere you look online, there are images of perfect couples, luxury, exotic vacation, lavish gifts. And this is very, very toxic because this is not even real. It's just social media. And these things create an unrealistic standard for women because they expect that from a partner. And men feel like they need to be wealthy or constantly shower women with gifts to be able to measure up. And it's a lot of pressure. It can leave men thinking that they'll never be able to meet these expectations. And as a result, men are just giving up on dating because they feel like they can compete against those fantasy relationships that we see online. And I think it's very, very dangerous because it can lead to self-esteem issues as men feel like they're never gonna be good enough. And this can result in anxiety, depression. So yeah, it's a very, very concerning problem.
It's not that we can't compete. We see no reason to do it. It's not worth it. What do I get for all this investment? More expenses in divorce? No, they'll do everything they can to avoid accountability. Absolutely. And the fact that they think they can get better, good luck. I'm more than good enough. The women out there simply don't measure up for me. I'm in the top 10%, so she had better have her act together. I agree. I gave up on dating. I get judged on everything, so I live my life. Already came to terms I may never have a wife, family. I've been saying this for years, and I call it social media syndrome. Social media is always the downfall, giving far too many options for them to walk away. It's not worth the stress anymore. The women who leave their husbands or boyfriends thinking they can do better always come crawling back, because the treatment and the love wasn't the same. They were fed a temporary dream that the grass was greener on the other side, but that's never the case. If a woman doesn't appreciate you, show her the door. If she doesn't reciprocate the energy, show her the door. Dating in the West is at an all-times low. If you truly value yourself as a man, you're better off getting your passport and find love overseas. There's plenty of beautiful traditional women there, so why let the vampires suck you dry on this side?
What's the worst thing a guy can do on a first date?
If we're on a first date and he makes me pay, don't talk to me anymore. Okay?
A lot of girls, once they start pushing that 30 mark, they're like, okay, I got to lower my standards a little bit because it's not working out.
Well, because, we have that pressure of time and
Right.
eggs, and I feel like society does a really good job of
reminding
us of that,
Yeah.
that timeline.
Like always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Right.
There's
And
movies
like
about that.
once you hit 30, your eggs start shriveling.
A lot of women start lowering their delusional standards because the wall is undefeated. The simple truth is, women are on a biological clock and men are on the financial clock. If women aren't choosing to have kids, that's fine. It's their choice. But men, it is also your choice to invest in wine and cat food.
Let's talk about why women should stop hooking up like men. Okay, if you haven't watched this entire video already, I highly recommend you do so. But I want to make a comment about casual hookups. The picture she paints in this story time is that casual hookups equal tooted and booted. Drunk sex. Someone who's not going to take you to breakfast the next day. Someone you have zero emotional connection with. And I just want to say that not all casual hookups have to look like that. There can be vulnerable casual hookups with honesty and respect. And although this sounds like a heterosexual problem, because this is not really that much of a problem in the gay community, there are straight men that are capable of this. Unfortunately, you gotta do the extra legwork to flush that out. So yeah, you can have fun casual sex that's respectable without commitment if you're not ready for a relationship. And if you want a relationship and you think that casual sex is the way to get there, you deserve to have what you want, and I'm telling you, you do not have to play that game to get there. What's the key to navigating all of this? My two favorite things, honesty and communication.
This is another issue that's hurting the dating world, casually hooking up with strangers. Apparently these women forget that STDs exist. Apparently they forget that it can be a traumatic experience. The women who's promoting casual hookups are miserable. They're only thinking about having fun in the moment, but not thinking of the consequences of what it can do to them. They're the same types of women who's coming on TikTok screaming, "Where are all the good men after smashing guys throughout their whole lives?" These women are single and unmarried, leading women astray.
Can someone please tell me where the cute single men in Charlotte are? I joined a run club and we end up like merging with another run club like every week. And I was walking back and there are so many attractive men in Charlotte. But literally, where are you hiding? Because y'all are not on the dating apps, that's for dang sure. Hi, I'm Carly. I'm 28. I live in Charlotte and I'm single and I'm ready to mingle.
Due to the fact that men make my ass itch, I have decided that I am single, celibate, and no longer willing to date anyone. However, if you insist on taking me on a date, there will be a $500 fee. That $500 fee can be paid through Zelle, Cash App, or Apple Pay. I'll send you my phone number and you can send the motherfucking funds. Then we can discuss an arrangement. However, if you decide that you're going to text me or call me before you send the motherfucking funds, you will be blocked. Yeah, that's how we're going to do that.
Perfect example of delusion.
If a woman ghosts you, you do not need to ask for an explanation or make her regret her decision. Just move on quietly, because you don't need to prove anything to someone who's not truly into you.
I find it curious that women get so upset about the biological fact that most men prefer women in their younger years, mainly due to fertility, low body count, and just general attraction. When I knew countless women at the age of 19, 20 who dated 30, 35 plus men while they were young, and then all of a sudden they get to be 30, 35, and now all of a sudden they disagree with it, saying it's creepy. I find that it's more just an insecurity factor and the fact that they are no longer that young and now they see those women as competition, which is sad because in reality, most of my videos are really to teach younger women to choose better in their 20s. If you are in your 30s and still single, that is no reason to hate on the younger generation or hate on the men that prefer them and by calling them creepy or even words that I'm not even going to use here. Innately, I have always known this. My husband is 7+ years older than me, and I did that for a reason. And he did that for a reason. At the age of 37 when we met, he knew he wanted a family. He's not going to go find another 37-year-old hoping by the grace of God or with fertility treatments that they could have a baby. I'm not hating on women. We just need to understand both sides. Men have every right to choose their preferences just as women do. For example, nobody wants to date a short, broke man.
It's called double standards because it no longer benefits them. When they see an older man with a younger woman, they feel angry and bitter and starts calling that man a predator. These younger women are more fertile, more energetic, less baggages to deal with. This is also something that's been happening since time began. When women have their preferences, the crowd applauds, but when it comes to men, the crowd starts booing.
Guys, I'm almost 30 and I don't have anything to show for it. I don't have a house, I don't have a car, I don't have a man, I don't have a kid, I don't have $1 million. All I have is me.
I hear stories all the time about how guys will pursue girls first, give them all this attention, all these wonderful dates, just to leave them. These types of guys want what they can't have. He saw that you were out of his league and he took that as a challenge. It was all just a game of boosting his fragile ego from the beginning. You are better than that. You are better than him. Don't forget that.
You know, one thing I will never understand, why do you men work hard and put in so much effort to get a woman's attention, and then when she finally gives you the time of day, your effort just fades? You were calling, you were texting, you were FaceTiming, you were sending her snaps, sending her good morning messages, all the things that drew her in, and as soon as she was gonna cave, there you go. Like, if you knew your intentions weren't serious from the jump, why initiate things? Make it make sense, y'all.
Because we bought the book based on the cover, and now we understood why it was on the shelf. It wasn't worth the time to read. Men will shoot their shot and put in effort. Once we realize it's not a mutual interest, we take the loss and move on. Because it's never enough, and it becomes exhausting. Mine is all about effort back to me. If I'm giving the effort and she isn't reciprocating, then I start losing interest and eventually stop doing all that. Match the effort and we good. Just because someone wanted to date you first doesn't mean you're better than that person. How can you ever be in a happy relationship with that kind of mindset? And there's no such thing as being out of someone's league. The guys who pursue these women and gives them all of these dates leaves them because they don't do the same in return. These women believe that the relationship should only be one-sided, and that's why they keep getting left. That's why they keep coming on the camera yelling and asking why. They believe that their beauty is all it takes to keep a man.
How old are you?
38.
How tall are you?
4'11".
How tall do you want your man to be?
I don't care. It's not about that. It's about the way you treat me and your kindness. Like, trust me, since I've been married for so long, I've seen the ugliness of people. Like, I just want somebody nice and respectful and sweet and loving.
So you don't care if he was 5'2"? You would give him a shot?
I would not care.
So when it comes on to a first date, what are you looking to get from that experience?
I would like to go out somewhere nice and treated with respect and consideration.
Do you have a specific price range that a man should spend?
I mean, not really. Just as long as, like, your heart's there and you're coming from the right place. And there should be a certain chemistry, so I would only accept to go on a date with someone that I felt like somewhat interested in.
You'd be happy to go get $20 ice cream for a first date?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
So why do you think so many women have this expectation of Nobu, Komodo, $200 here?
I mean, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Those experiences are fun, but it's not necessarily conducive, I think, to having a connection with someone or having a good time. Like, it's not needed.
This is amazing. One can only hope her standards were the same when she was in her 20s, because a lot of these women start coming to their senses between the age of 29 to 40.
Okay, this is for you if you feel like there are no good guys left out in the world. I promise you, there are. There are good men, there are kind men, there are compassionate men. Just don't settle. Don't settle, don't entertain these clowns who, you know, just want to hang out with you and don't actually want to take you on dates. Don't even entertain them. Wait for the right one, the one who loves you and is kind to you and who values you. Do not even entertain the ones who don't do that.
Dating advice in under 1 minute.
Ah, yes, the best kind.
If you give him money, he's going to cheat.
Interesting.
If you give him emotional support, he's going to cheat.
What?
If you are nice and reassuring and boring, he is going to cheat.
I'm noticing a theme here.
If you bend over backwards and become his mother, always checking in with him, if he's eaten, if he slept well, how he's feeling, how work has been, you will also be cheated on. Why?
Yes, do tell us why.
Because men hate reassurance.
Has anyone else noticed that a lot of the women giving dating advice to women about men really don't seem to know anything about them?
Men hate commitment and routine.
Yeah, like I said.
Now here's your secret to keep him happy, not have him cheat on you.
Well, this secret ought to be just fantastic given the rest of the advice.
is to not give him routine. You need to give this man an element of surprise. And how do you do it? By
Do tell.
not always checking in, by not mothering him, by not controlling his actions, by not always reassuring him.
To be fair, I do not know a lot of individuals that actually like being mothered. However, given this type of dating advice, there's going to be a lot of women, if they choose to listen to it, that are going to be remaining single or extremely unhappy in their relationships.
And this right here is why men today are staying single. When we have these dating coaches who knows nothing about men poisoning the minds of other women for their own benefits with false information, she's only leading them to their doom, single and with 50 cats at 70. She's just projecting her bad experiences with the men that were in her life. Now she wants every single woman to join her on a trip down memory lane to Misery World.